Richie Richardson. Not often you see Richie with a helmet and a grill as well. Usually he's had that West Indian floppy hat, the sun hat, that's become famous around the world, so that's a new sight. Michael Holding says he's been using the helmet this season in the red stripe, and that's a first.
It's interesting that, Jeff, he used the helmets at practice in Barbados, but on each occasion wore the floppy maroon hat, for which he's become renowned, of course.
Just shows he's getting on a bit, like all of us. We turn to the helmet when we get a bit older. We don't want to get us smacked by that red ball up the ear roll. I think the key to it all is whatever you wear is how many runs you get as a batsman for me. What I'd like to see from Richie is him settle down and play an innings. If he's unlucky enough to get a good ball, really good ball, like Sherwin Campbell got in Barbados, or for rifle, then fine, you get out. You just put your hand up and say the bowler's bowled me a real class delivery. There's nothing I can do about it. But I'd like to see him settle down, concentrate, adapt himself to the situation, get himself in, and then look to play shots as his innings progresses. I think what his supporters don't want to see is a number of rash shots like the one in Barbados. They want to see that he's got the concentration back that made him a really high-quality test match player. I mean, those figures are no good at all. But I mean, his test match figures are outstanding. His average of 45 is a very good performance. And you see that when he gets in, he's got 1500s. You could almost say one test match 100 per 5 test matches. So that's about right. That's what you reckon from the best players in the world, 1 in 5. You can't rate Bradman, he's just above everything. But most great players, 1 in 5, and you're doing pretty good, I'll tell you.
Smart work in the field, no wicket for 16. And still Richie Richardson to get off the mark. And still to get off the mark. Fine bit of work by Waugh.
Crikey, if I played a shot like that, I'd want 10 for this. What a shot. He whacked it. Oh, yes, that did hurt, Steve. What a stop. Oh, I've never hit one as hard as this in my life. All the time I batted, I want to not get a run for that.
Reminds me, Jeff, there was a marvellous moment some years back now when David Boone was batting with Jeff Marsh and was facing the West Indian quicks, and they got him fair and square on the left shin. That really will be smarting. But Boone was hit, but he wasn't prepared to rub the spot to show that in any way that he'd been hurt. And at the end of the over, 2 or 3 minutes later, Marsh went up to him and said, it's all right now, you can rub the spot now. I'm sure that's exactly how Steve Ward's feeling this moment.
Yeah, now that's the difference between two opening batsmen who are not used to each other, and Michael Slater and Mark Taylor. They've got a single here. So he plays that down nicely, covers very square and a long way back. They'd have been scampering a single there with the Australians because they know each other well and they look for singles.
It's interesting, Jeff, to come up from 4 or 5 in the order to 1. What's going to be the the most important requirements for Richardson, coming up in the order from Barbados and after a year out of Test match cricket.
Well, I felt all along he should have opened with one of the youngsters, either Sherwin Campbell or Williams, not both of them. I thought it was too big a gamble in Barbados, because I thought actually it would help Richie as well as help the youngster at the other end. Because I remember Richie's been playing for Yorkshire as the overseas player. I watched him play a little bit. I talked to the players at Yorkshire, and I felt over the last couple of years the one thing about his batting that he's lost a little bit has been the patience and concentration to bat for long innings, long time, make big scores. He's been playing a lot of shots, almost too many shots. That's what he was doing at Yorkshire. And I've watched him in Test cricket the last year and a half or so, 2 years, and I think he needs to knuckle down. That's a lovely shot, you see. Didn't try to hit that too hard, just eased it through. Used the pace of the ball, eased it beautifully, none for 24.